Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most interesting trees, the Jaboticaba, the Sabara variety, also known as the Brazilian tree grape. Here are some seeds I popped, and you can see they start out as just a little, straight little, it looks like a toothpick almost, and then they start shooting out some leaves. But this is a tree from Brazil. It's gaining popularity. Maybe one day it'll be something you can see in the supermarket as for fruit, but these are really popular in bonsai culture as well. This is a fruit tree. It makes a grape-like fruit that actually is produced right off the bark of the tree. They're pretty wild if you've never seen one. And this is the Sabara variety. So this is the most common variety out of Brazil. This is one of the most popular fruits in Brazil. And it's very common to be eaten fresh, right out of hand. They actually make some wines out of it, marmalade, and jam, all that kind of stuff. But most commonly, the Jaboticaba is eaten fresh. And here's some smaller ones. Now this is a very slow growing tree. I didn't plant these seeds, but I'd say these are maybe a year old. And you can see how small they are, but these do great in containers. People commonly grow these in containers. They like slightly acidic soil, right around that 5.5 mark, 5.4. They do well in some shade. You can actually grow these inside your house. They're a pretty interesting tree. They're very beautiful. They have a bark that peels. If you notice the bark peeling, that's actually a good sign. It means the tree is healthy. They have beautiful foliage. It comes out almost like a little bit red and yellow when the foliage starts. Now here's a larger tree I have. Now this one, I was wondering how old this one is. It's probably close to 4 years old, this tree here. And you can see the leaves there. But it looks like a bush you would see or something. Like it's not a huge tree at 4 years. It's still pretty small. It's a very hardwood tree. So that's why it takes so long. It produces very hardwood. And the flowers will come right off the bark, which is pretty crazy because then the fruit comes right off the bark. And the fruit is absolutely delicious. So there's the bark. You can see it peeling. It's part of the myrtle family, like guavas, bay rum, allspice. But that's why the bark peels. It's common in the myrtle family. There's a big chunk of bark I just peeled off. That means it's healthy, and I recently fertilized these, and this tree's looking great. I think I could prune it up soon. I haven't pruned that one much. I got a cocktail tree behind there. This is the Sabara variety, the most popular variety. There's a cinder block. You can see the size difference there. So that's a 4-year-old tree, and it's not super big. They take around 10 to 12 years to fruit. I've heard some people fruit them around 8 years if you have the conditions right. So that's something I think that draws a lot of people away from these trees is how long it takes for them to fruit. Now this is the Sabara variety. There's a few other varieties that can fruit a little bit faster. But this one's like the classic Jabuticaba. This is the most common one in Brazil. And these make absolutely beautiful trees. Once they start fruiting, they're like these amazing trees to look at. They flush fruit multiple times a year. If you water them more frequently, you can get more fruit. And another thing I want to talk about is the word Jaboticaba. In Portuguese, it translates to tortoise and place. Jabuti is tortoise, and Caba is place. But I've also heard Caba is fat. So if there's any Portuguese speakers out there and they know what Caba translates to in Portuguese exactly, I'd be interested to know. And the leaves on this thing, they just shoot out right out of the bark. Let's see if I'll show you one there if I can focus on it. There's the leaf right there coming, a little speck. So if you treat them right, they'll keep their leaves, but they can handle down to the 20s, which is pretty amazing for a tropical tree. And they can lose like the majority of their leaves and come back. So they can be like semi-deciduous or deciduous. But here's us eating some.
Jaboticabas, or they're probably pronounced Jaboticabas because they are from Brazil. This is also called the Brazilian grape tree, and these are the Sabara variety. And we're tasting them. What are they like?
Very tasty.
I want to show you the inside. They're very cool.
A little sour, a little sweet, creamy, lots of flavor.